Even if you're emotionally carrying people on your back all day long, and there is this unhealthy attachment between you two where they lean on you so much that you feel like you're gonna fall, look at that and ask yourself, is this the right thing to do? Why am I doing that? And how is this gonna help that person? Because if that person keeps leaning on you and leaning on you, they will not find their own strength.
2, 1, 0.
I love Hollywood movies where something happened and the hero goes through a lot of struggles and then they win on the other side and then they live happily ever after. Or there is a sequel. But usually life is being solved within an hour and a half to 2 hours. But life is not like that. Life is full of challenges. For example, my gardener stole my watermelon. Yes, my gardener, the one that came and do the lawn here, actually stole my watermelon. You know, every time he came here, I was like, hey, just don't harm the watermelon bushes. I really care about them. I had watermelons before and I harvested them prematurely because I didn't know. Because as a gardener, you are willing to fail a few times until you get it right. Finally, I am growing those only two watermelons that are beautiful and big and probably going to be sweet and delicious. And then that morning, the gardeners are coming and something in me was like, oh, I kind of think they're planning on taking my watermelon. It's so weird that I had that thought. But I didn't say anything. I didn't listen to my intuition. I didn't say anything. And then we are at this sound and musical activity for kids. I went with my husband and my little one. And he has a tendency of being on the phone a lot, which he's trying to heal. And I'm just like, oh, stop being on your phone. And he's like, well, I'm on the camera of the house. You want to see something? Of course I said yes. And he shows me the gardener kind of like going to the watermelon, looking around, tapping on it, checking it out, going away. And then the next video is like walking with it to his truck. I was so pissed off. My watermelon that I grew from a seed, he's taking it. How rude. How rude. That's real theft. Like, seriously. And I wasn't able to focus on the musical activity. I wasn't present as I demanded him. And then I was kind of like pissed off at him for showing me that during the activity. Eventually we got home. And yes, it was gone. But thank God they were kind. They left me one. I called them. Finally they brought it back. But it's not on the vine anymore. So it can't really grow more. We'll probably open it later and see what it feels like, what it tastes like. But things like that happen. Challenges happen in your life out of the blue. Somebody takes something from you. Somebody does something that hurts your feelings. It's not about not feeling your feelings. I can't just just push it away and change your state like this. It's okay to grieve. I mean, it didn't take me a long time. It took me about 2 hours to come back to, oh, whatever, it's just a watermelon. It's okay to feel your emotions when stuff like that happen. But later that day, something even more grandiose and more awful happened. We are traveling, so we went to our storage unit to get one of the empty suitcases. And we have 2 storage units. So we come to the first one and then we just take what we need. And then my husband is like, hey, do you want to go check out the other one? Because you need to know where it is. I was like, yeah, I know where it is. Just the number down there. No, let's go check it out. We go check it out and we open. And he looks at me in this weird look and he said, huh, there were more stuff here. I'm sure this was packed to the rim. Somebody robbed our unit. Somebody took expensive TVs, stationary bikes, expensive furniture. And what's harder is that they took some mementos. They took stuff. We don't even know what was stolen from us. We don't even know what was taken from us. It was quite depressing, and even on the ride there and on the ride back, it was a perfect, a movie scenario where it was super rainy and thunder and lightning and gray, and we're driving in the rain, and the rain just reflects our inner tears, being so sad about our stuff that was lost. We came back home, we were, especially my husband, was so on edge. it's kind of odd, but there was a place in me that was relieved that I don't have to open a whole storage unit and look over boxes. I know it, like, in some weird shape and form, I felt a little bit of relief. But for him, because also it probably was a lot of my stuff too. But I am not as attached to stuff as he is. And he had to go through his grieving. And because he's done so much work on himself, I was so impressed. It didn't take him that long. Within a day and a half, he was back. Of course, he got some help and guidance from his coach. Me too. I spoke to my coach about it briefly. So it's really good to have smart people in your life that can kind of put you back on the path. But he came to a realization that he doesn't need to be so attached to things. And maybe from a spiritual, Kabbalistic perspective, sometimes when physical things are lost, it's almost like this is being lost so you won't get a health problem, almost like a sacrifice. It's almost like your angels are coming and talking to God and saying like, hey, we don't want him or her to get hurt, so let's take away some physical material. This is gone. And sometimes if you are like me, where you believe God knows what's best for me, maybe there are things that I shouldn't have held on to, that shouldn't even be in my life. Maybe we need something new. And for my husband, it's also a big lesson, because my husband is the type of person that will leave a wallet on the table where service people come, and he doesn't guard his property. Like he just doesn't. He doesn't. And I remember he used to tell me that I'm silly for thinking that people can. Well, he didn't say it, but he said it without saying it. That I worry too much when I tell him to put his wallet aside or take care of his things, because humans are humans, and human nature is like, even my gardener, I don't think he's a bad person. I just think he really wanted that watermelon, and in retrospect, I would get him a watermelon, like just not my watermelon, the one that I grew from seed. But sometimes we do get attached to things, and sometimes other people get attached to other people's things. And it's easy to steal. It's just where you are in the consciousness level. I think that if you're mega poor and you need to steal food, it's not, it's obvious. But if you go and you work for someone and they treat you really nice and give you water and smile at you and talk to you and pay you your salary, you don't go steal from them. But that's very bad judgment on that person's part. And people make mistakes, and people take from other people. It's a world of polarity. There is black, there is white, and we all have black and white inside. Can I tell you that I did not steal anything as a kid? I did. I worked at a candy store, and I stole a little bit of money, just a tiny bit, but I did. I was young, and I was really poor, and I really wanted it. I still feel a little bit guilty about it. I only did it once, but still, it's not that cool. I'm sure I've done a lot of bad things to people throughout my life, not thinking it through, saying the wrong things, or somehow taking something from them. We all did. We all do it, whether we are aware of it or not. So because these things exist, maybe the lesson is to take care of your stuff. If you have something valuable, put it in, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. It's not a temptation for other people to take it. He needed to learn that lesson. You have to protect your property, and you have to protect your family's property. Now, mind you, we also had a disagreement about the storage place, but it was my lesson of not taking responsibility and just let him handle it. Let him handle this facility. I didn't go check it out. I didn't see that the facility was not that guarded. It did get, he went on Yelp. It got amazing reviews, and they say that no other unit was damaged. Very, very bizarre. Because what I think is, it's probably happened in the past and they're just not talking about it. When stuff like that happen, my point is, what is the lesson? Okay, things happen. We get sad, we get upset. fine. We feel our emotions, we move on. But if you don't get the lesson at that moment, unfortunately, you will get it somewhere else. In some way, it's probably karmatic. Karmatic. It's a karma. With my mom, I didn't put myself first. I put my mom first, which is true to my heart. And in some ways, I robbed myself from my experience. And so maybe the universe kind of robbed me in a different way. Maybe that's the signal I emanate. Other people come first. And actually, this is something I've been working on a lot, where I did put people first for a long time. Let's say there is this little thing that I bought myself, but I'm going to a friend's house. I'll be like, that would be a nice gift for her, and I'll give it to her. And nowadays, I'm like, actually, no, I kind of like it. I'm going to keep it to myself. Or I put stronger boundaries around what's mine and what's somebody else's. Because when you're overgiving, oversharing, it also can make the other person feel uncomfortable. And then I'm thinking, why am I oversharing, but like physically overgiving? Is this because I want to please people? Is this because I want to be loved? In the Jewish tradition in Purim, which is the equivalent of Halloween, where kids and adults put costumes on, and it's a very happy holiday. It's a beautiful holiday. The costumes are not dark and gory like in Halloween's. They're usually more on the happier side. And of course, there is US influence everywhere in the world, so you'll see those gory outfits too. But it's usually happier and less dark. I don't know. Halloween is a nice holiday, but it's a little bit dark. I remember coming to the US and looking at haunted houses and like the way people decorate their houses and be like, ooh, this is spooky. Why do people do that? No, I'm good with it. It's just Halloween, but at first, coming from a different culture, it was really weird to me. But back to the story. So in Purim, there are four things that you do. You give charity to people in need, money charity. And the other deed that you need to do is you need to be happy. There was another thing, but what is very traditional is also to give gift baskets to other people. And so I prepared this humongous basket for my girlfriends. Because also, honestly, in Israel, we did a little bigger basket. I go to my friend's house. She gives me her basket, which is like 6 times smaller with 3 candies in it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't say anything. Of course, it's whatever people give, it's from their heart. But it's like, it was a very big difference. And I thought, now I know that when I gave those big baskets, sometimes I make the other person probably a little uncomfortable because they feel like they owe me. If I'm too nice, if I'm too giving, if I always do things in a big way and it's not the other person's character to do that, they feel uncomfortable. They start feeling obligated. Because in a way, what am I showing? I'm better than you. My basket is bigger than yours. The way I do things for you is much more grandiose than the way you do it for me. I don't know, is it ego? Am I showing off? There is a balance of give and take. And I'm probably a little bit off on that balance. So I need to get back to that balance. Like, what about you? Do you overgive sometimes of your time, of your energy? It doesn't have to be physical. Even if you're emotionally carrying people on your back all day long, and there is this unhealthy attachment between you two where they lean on you so much that you feel like you're going to fall, look at that and ask yourself, is this the right thing to do? Why am I doing that? And how is this going to help that person? Because if that person keeps leaning on you, they will not find their own strength. Eventually, even in nature, the chicks have to fly from the nest. And sometimes we tend to mother or father our friends or family. And there is a codependency. They became dependent on you. For me, for years and years, even with my own family, I just thought, this is the way it is. I am the hero. I am the protector. I am there for them. I am the supporter. I took so much on my shoulders. I still do, but at least I have the awareness not to do it to that degree. When I started putting boundaries and saying no to things, My family pushed back. They did not like this new version of me that is not give them exactly what they want, when they want, how they want it, all the time with full attention. I'm now a mom. I can't do that. I have my own child to take care of. And I have myself to take care of. And if I don't take care of myself, I won't be able to take care of my child. And I won't be able to take care of my family. So I need to protect my energy. And when my energy is protected, in times of challenge, I can handle things better. I can bounce back from 2 robberies in one day within a matter of hours. Honestly, that night I was fine. We went to the storage unit pretty late, around 7 p.m. And by 10 p.m. I was okay. I was just like, it's up to God. It's when God wanted it to be that way, then it's that way. And if I didn't take care of myself for a long time and do the work and set boundaries, and this is a process, it doesn't happen in a day. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, oh, I have healthy boundaries. I know how to handle life. It's a daily practice. Even if it's not daily, at least bi-weekly. Every day you take a little step in the direction of where you want to go. A year later, 2 years later, a decade later, you're going to look back and you'll see that you are a different person for the better. I always go out. I always learn. Even with everything that I know, I always open myself to learning new things. Because maybe I will learn the same bit of information in a different way because I'm a different person. I believe that when you are connected to Source, when you believe that the universe conspiring for you and everything is done for you, that if you have this embedded in your heart, even through hard times and hard challenges, and you are going to go through emotional roller coasters, but emotions change. But if you have that belief and that certainty that life is working for you, it's going to get better. I've been through postpartum depression. It was hard. And I've been through many challenges in my life. But I always believe that there is a light in me. And I can rise like the phoenix from the ashes. This belief is so embedded. I know that I'm strong. I know that I'm a warrior. I know that I can handle whatever is coming my way. Also from a spiritual perspective, God wouldn't give you more than you can handle. Whatever is coming your way is coming your way because you have the capacity and the choice to overcome those situations, and it's your choice. Just like nobody else can do your push-ups for you, nobody can make you resilient. It's coming from the inside. And it's not about looking outside, it's about looking inside and finding that light within you so you can thrive, so you can be anti-fragile. So whatever comes your way, you can just like Aikido it, move it. And yeah, sometimes we get hurt. I'm not saying we don't. We get hurt physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And then we do the work, and then we do the work, and then we elevate. When I did the podcast with Frank Illariti, he described it as we live in a Maya, we live in an illusion, and every once in a while we pop our head to look beyond the illusion. And when we're there, we understand that this is a game, and the game is rigged in your favor. It's all a game. It's almost like a movie set. Well, with me, movies like The Truman Show or The Matrix really resonate. A lot of people say that The Matrix is not a movie, it's a documentary. People wrote these movies because they came from something. Some consciousness got into them and allowed them to show the world in an entertaining way. But unlike a movie, challenges don't end within an hour and a half to 2 hours. They keep going and we keep growing. And that's the beauty of life. If everything is like that, if everything is so balanced and nothing changes, it's kind of boring. And you don't really grow. So yes, I am going through challenging times, like beyond that, like just flying, going to be with my mom, worried about her health. I've been worried a lot lately. I've been waking up every night at 3:30 and just worrying and worrying and worrying. It's quite hard. I haven't slept much in the last 2 weeks. I feel a little drunk. And that's okay, and this too shall pass. When I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm so stressed out, I'm trying to find solutions. I think the worst thing to do if we wake up in the middle of the night, is just stay in bed and stare, which I've done for a few nights. But if I get up and I stretch, one thing that starts helping me is massaging my palms. I don't know really what points I'm massaging, but it helps me calm down. Breathing and then self-talk. What I say to myself is, I am the source of my own power, therefore I can go to sleep. I am the source of my own power, therefore this too shall pass. I am the source of my own power, therefore, life's gonna be amazing. Life is amazing. And I know that this too shall pass. And I'm gonna get my sleep back. It's just like that when your mind... I had one night where I had so much on my to-do list, and everything, the stream of consciousness, everything comes out in the middle of the night. Where I had a to-do list in my head. I got up, I wrote it down, went back to sleep. Oh my God, more things. Got up again, wrote it again, went back to sleep 3 times. It was awful. But it was also super productive because that was my list for the trip. And that list has been serving me tremendously. So even when we're going through a hard time, there is always good in everything. And we just have to look for that good. So what do you think? Are you going to handle your challenges a little better? Are you going to look at the spiritual reasons for why you are going to win the game of life, even though it's challenging? Are you going to make sure that you feel your emotions, but not for too long, and you bounce back as soon as possible, and take responsibility within yourself to find that light and rise above? Let me know. You can go to stellarlifepodcast.com and leave me comments. You can find me there. You can email me. And if you like this podcast and if it helps you, please share it with a friend. That will help me a lot. And also leave a review, hopefully a good one. I'm just wishing you a really, really good day or night whenever you are listening to this. And I honor you for being here and listening to something that might make you feel better and elevate you. And I'm grateful that you are my listener. Thank you. Bye.